Defense coordinator Jim Schwartz was asked about the two rookies, Carson Schwesinger and Mason Graham, and how they've looked.
Both of those guys are really doing well. I mean, let's not put them in the Hall of Fame yet. They're both rookies. But I'll start with Mace. Mace has really made a tremendous turnaround in his body composition. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but it's been significant from the time he got here after the draft to the shape he's in now. His metrics are like much improved. He's running a lot faster. And there was an adjustment. He played a read scheme where he was hunkering at the line of scrimmage, so he didn't get a chance to make a lot of sacks or those tackles for losses, even though he's really productive in what he did. So not only was he sort of changing his body composition, but he was like learning a whole new way to play defense, which is attack. And there's been, some setbacks along the way, but the thing with Mace is he's taken 2 steps forward for every 1 step back he's taken. So he's gaining ground. And you're starting to see him make more plays. I think it was Friday. He had one of the best rushes he's had in practice. It was a B-gap rush, and it was just beating the guard with speed. Nothing fancy about it, but that was something that we really hadn't seen a lot of.
And Tom, if Mason Graham is able to do those kind of things, if you're lining him up next to Myles Garrett, that would be wrecking an offense.
That's your formula on defense, right? It's like turn those two guys loose. And I agree with Schwartz. I wasn't out there a ton during OTAs, and I've only been at a few training camp practices, but he's right. His body is different. I know Mason Graham was one of the decorated players from Michigan last year, and it looks like he may have gone on the banquet circuit once the season ended, because he came in, he didn't look great, and we saw him get sick in that first practice and kind of had to fight his way through it. But I like the kid a lot. Watching him play in college, he was disruptive. As Schwartz says, it wasn't necessarily his job to make plays behind the line of scrimmage, but sometimes he did it by accident just because he was beating the guys off the ball, and just kind of a mauler inside. And you have to be excited about the potential of him and Garrett on the same sides. So we'll see. In Schwesinger, I think, I've really been impressed with his skill set. He moves incredibly well out there, and really intrigued with him as well. So, and listen, Jim Schwartz is not going to throw around praise to any rookies before he feels like they're ready to hear it. He doesn't want to pump up these guys' egos to the point where they feel like they're more than they are before they've earned it. And so, I take everything that he says, to heart, because I think Jim is a straight shooter, and I think we've seen that with him during his tenure with the Browns.